thing on?
This thing is on.
It's
Tap,
on.
tap, tap, tap.
Yeah, it's the performance quad.
Oh, hold on.
160.
So yesterday was so damn wet and nasty. It was just a wet, nasty powder day. We just decided to just get in the car and drive home. Jimbo was soaking through, and I was just not feeling like setting up in the wet.
Here it is the next day, sunny.
Yeah. Here we are on Moss, a little late in the season. I wish we could have gotten this mid-season during our epic powder days, but instead we got a spring slush day, like a foot and a half of slush.
Yeah, well, not slush. It was just not cold, the coldest of snows.
Wet, thick, nasty, slidey snow.
It was all right.
Slid all over the place.
I had fun.
Oh, I had a blast, but we have to let the readers, our gentle readers, know the conditions that we go.
Yes.
And that was the conditions, that's what we were riding in. And this 160 performance quad, like of all the Moss line, this is the one I want. Moss, really, I mean, there are a lot of surf shapes out there, and these guys have been around forever. They're one of the originators.
It's like 82.
Yeah, 80s, baby. Early 80s. And they have a very unique personality compared to almost every other board I've tried, save maybe one or two. They are they are on the far surf side of the spectrum. Skate to surf, and everything in between. This is definitely the surfiest, and this just felt like a thruster, a tri-fin, and funny that it did, because it has this little, it almost looks like a tri-fin. Jimbo said,
oh yeah, you can see it when you do the light like that.
Yeah.
This board's got camel toe.
Yeah, it's terrific, actually.
Yeah, it's terrific.
And I don't know if it makes it feel so light on the tail, but I felt like all the, all the Moss boards, you're way back on the tail. This is where your bindings are, your last binding is. But I felt like I was all the way back there. A lot of surf shapes I've tried where I feel like I'm on the tail, where I'm way back on the tail, I don't feel like I'm that far back on the tail. With this, you really do. That was kind of one of the takeaways from this. It's very surfy, very off the tail. You have to be very conscious off that back foot if you want to ride this on groomers. It's definitely a super snow surfer. Surfer. I said snurfer. Super snow surfer. This is what it is for. And I felt like I was on a shortboard. It just quick, snappy. You can just hit that lip, throw spray wherever you want. It turns on a dime. It's a super fast turner. It's got a pretty stiff flex. We're holding the performance quad because this PQ 160 is they're very similar. They're same name, different sizes basically. And both Jimbo and I just love this performance quad. I think this is our favorite out of the line. And
out of the four that we rode.
Yeah, and it is super surfy. So even somebody who's surfy, who likes a surfy shape, but it's more into like free ride surfy, where it's kind of surfy but not super surfy. If you want something that's really like a surfboard on snow, this is where you go. Because it really is more surfy than almost any other surf style shape you'd experience. And so that tail, you want to butter off your ass. You've got this kind of like, does it concave down there? I can't tell. I don't know if it does like the other, like the PQ.
This one seems to round it a little bit.
Yeah, I think there is, but I can't truly tell.
Yeah, there's a little bit of spoon.
Well, there's spoon on this one, for sure.
Okay.
What about this one? Look at that.
I don't see spoon.
I don't see a spoon like I thought I did, but there might be some there.
There is no spoon.
Yeah, but,
Fight Club.
this was
Matrix.
fun. and fast and surfy. It's definitely a paddleboard way first, and you can surf and slash groomer second because it's got good edge hold, but you have to be very mindful of that tail. You have to get way back off that on that back foot, and you really have to give it good weight and make sure it holds well. But all in all, it's a super fun surfy shape. I don't know if it's for everybody, but this is like for us, if you're similar specs to Jimbo and I, and you're kind of thinking about going super surfy, and you have the performance quad, and you have this performance quad 160, I'd go 160 for sure. It definitely has that, whoa, when you do that, look at that. It reflects on the screen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, don't do that anymore. It's freaking me out.
Changing the light.
Yeah, you're freaking me out, man. But it's really got a special thing going for it, and it's very unique, and it's not for everybody, but those that want the surfiest of surfy, you can try the Moss Snowstick, and it just floats like a champ. I mean, it's unsinkable. It's so tail sinky, you know? It's like this. This is how it's going to ride in the snow. Yeah, it is going to ride like this. It is not one of those hovercraft type of boards.
Helsinki is not a city in Finland.
So
Are we done? Are we finished?